Welcome to Sage Audio. Today let's compare a free vocal chain versus a pro chain. But first, if you have a mix that you need to have mastered, send it to us to receive a free mastered sample of it with the link in the description. Free Cheneve De-esser. For this video, I want to go back and forth between the free chain and pro or paid for chain with each insert. Also, I've kept the chain simple to give us more time to compare the two. Starting with the free chain, I'm going to use this Cheneve channel strip and first bypass the mic preamp and then introduce some high frequency compression or de-essing. I used a softer knee, a quick release of 6 milliseconds, and got at most 4 dB of attenuation. We'll use the same channel strip for EQ and compression, but we'll cover that in future chapters. For now, let's take a listen to a full A and B of our free and paid for or pro chains and switch back and forth a few times to see if we prefer one over the other.
Running, thoughts running, they run away from you. Running, thoughts running, they run away from you.
Weiss De-esser. Moving on to the pro chain, we'll use this Weiss De-esser and combine a band and a shelf filter for our high frequency attenuation. I'll achieve similar amounts of attenuation and use a similar release time for the band filter, but I'm going to use a quicker one for my high shelf. Let's take a listen to it and notice how the effect to the highs is pretty transparent.
Running, thoughts running, they run away from you. Running, thoughts running, they run away from you.
If you're enjoying the video, hit the like button and subscribe if you haven't already. It's free and it helps us bring you more videos. Free Cheneve Equalizer. Next, I'll go back to this channel strip plugin and with the EQ, attenuate up to 90 Hz with a high pass filter, dip around 250 to 300 Hz by a few dB to reduce high frequency masking, amplify roughly 3 kHz to bring the vocal forward, and amplify 8 kHz to increase clarity. Let's take a listen and keep in mind that I'll leave the de-esser enabled, but I'm going to keep the compressor off for now.
Running, thoughts running, they run away from you. Running, thoughts running, they run away from you.
Eventide Split EQ. Back to the pro chain, I'm going to use this split EQ to affect the vocal's tone and transients differently. Like last chapter, I'll use a high pass filter to attenuate unnecessary lows, then I'm going to dip some of 200 to 300 Hz to reduce masking, but decrease the tone more to leave some transients in. I boosted a little above 3 kHz and then amplified around 8 kHz, emphasizing transients and being more precise with the amplified tone. Let's take a listen and notice how this clarifies the vocal and helps it sound more intelligible.
Running, thoughts running, they run away from you. Running, thoughts running, they run away from you.
Free Cheneve Compressor. Last up for this Cheneve channel strip, I'm going to use the compressor to attenuate the vocal and then amplify it after the attenuation. This should bring quieter details forward, as well as control the vocal's dynamics. I got about 4 dB of attenuation and stuck with a 100 millisecond release. Then I blended the effect in with the wet dry until it sounded right to my ears. Let's take a listen and note that processing like the preamp, the limiter, and the output drive are all disabled.
Running, thoughts running, they run away from you. Running, thoughts running, they run away from you.
If you haven't already, join the Al Parliament to show your support in a community of musicians, producers, and engineers dedicated to making music. Link in the description. FabFilter Pro C2. With this plugin, I used one of my favorite presets and adjusted as needed. It includes a softer knee, a vocal detection algorithm, fixed ratio, quick attack and release, and importantly, 2 milliseconds of look ahead. This combined with the auto makeup gain captures and amplifies the full vocal. I only needed a few dB of attenuation, and I also isolated the detection to the lows to high mids. Let's take a listen to how this brings forward quieter details.
Running, thoughts running, running. They run away from you. Running, running, thoughts running, running. They run away from you.
Free Voxengo Tube Amp. This free saturation and tube emulation plugin is going to help the vocal sound fuller, slightly more aggressive, and upfront. With it, I'll leave saturation off to avoid additional compression, then turn on 8x oversampling to reduce aliasing distortion. Then I'll dial in a moderate amount of drive. With the bias, I'll vary the harmonic formations until I get a good sound, and also use mode 2 for an aggressive sound. Let's take a listen to how this fills out the vocal.
Running, running, thoughts running, running. They run away from you. Running, running, thoughts running, running. They run away from you.
If you're enjoying the channel, use the search box to watch more of our videos. Arturia Dist Tube Culture. Next, for the paid for or the pro chain, I use this Tube Culture plugin to emulate tube distortion and saturation. I set the drive to 5, the bias a little higher for a slightly thicker sound, and ended up using the Pentode 1 setting, which has a sharper, odd harmonic formation. I also used the air function to brighten the sound, and used a mild tilt filter in the advanced section to do the same thing. Let's take a listen to it.
Running, running, thoughts running, running. They run away from you. Running, running, thoughts running, running. They run away from you.
Free Stone Voices D-Reverb. Last up, let's introduce some reverb. For the free chain, I'm using this D-Reverb plugin with a 2.5 second decay, 7 milliseconds of pre-delay, some of the lows and the highs cut, and a moderate amount of modulation. The signal is mainly dry, but has a good amount of reverb as well. Let's take a listen to it and notice how it gives the vocal a distinct sound and how these settings work well for a lead vocal.
Running, running, thoughts running, running. They run away from you. Running, running, thoughts running, running. They run away from you.
Eventide SP 2016 Reverb. Last up, for the pro chain, I used the SP 2016 Reverb by Eventide and started with the lead vocal preset before making some adjustments. I lowered the pre-delay to 7 milliseconds, changed the decay to 2.5 seconds, increased the diffusion, and emphasized higher frequencies. Now this should give us a good comparison to the free chain's reverb, and also sound nice with the vocal that we're working on. Let's take one final listen to the full A and B of our free and paid for chains, and let me know in the comments if you think one sounds better than the other.
Running, running, thoughts running, running. They run away from you. Running, running, thoughts running, running. They run away from you.
If you have a mix that you need to have mastered, send it to us to receive a free mastered sample of it with the link in the description. Thank you so much for watching.